Well, as summer draws to a close and autumn rolls on in, we say goodbye not just to the sunny days of the summer season, but also to the summer series here, brought to you by COWZA in collaboration with ACGL. Today is our last match of the group stage. And what a tournament it's been so far, but we've got a final upper bracket match to cover. It is going to be Vanquish taking on the Pink Salamanders, a battle of the middle of the bracket, as it were, but one that promises to be very, very interesting in terms of elucidating the various power rankings of the teams in the upper bracket. My name is Sun Phoenix, and I'll be bringing this to you today alongside Anomaly's very own future upper bracket player, Risen. How's it going?
Oh man, I'm doing all right, man. It's been cold, it's been rainy, but we pushed through, and got quite a game on our hands today.
Indeed, Vanquish Salamanders, as I said, in the middle, third and fourth at the moment. This match will obviously decide who finishes third, who finishes fourth. Nothing in it as far as prizes are concerned, but plenty in terms of bragging rights. And a very interesting kind of trajectory of these two teams. Pink Salamanders came into last year's Ethereal Crown LAN tournament as one of the favorites to take it all, but they ended up disappointing pretty majorly, dropping out of the tournament early. Vanquish, on the other hand, the complete opposite trajectory. Came in, nobody really talking about them, ended up finishing second only to IB at the end of it all. So a real fairy tale story for the Vanquish boys, and they come in here full of confidence. Yes, they were beaten quite handily by Monarch 5 Knights, but they did manage to take off 2 maps against Inglorious Blasters. So I think it's safe to say here isn't Vanquish coming in as the favorites.
No, yeah, for sure. Two really popular teams as far as last year's LAN goes. And I mean, I remember it in person. The people on Vanquish basically fought their way through the entire lower brackets, the entire day, really put on a show. And I think that really put them on the map for a lot of the players around the country and people, especially people who attended the event in person. Vanquish also flaunting a bit of a new roster, so it's going to be interesting to see how these newer players adapt and if maybe it was a better swap for the team. But still, Pink Salamanders coming in to this tournament pretty laid back, pretty chilled. I've heard a bit of it behind the scenes, basically playing for fun, but still with a competitive mindset. So I don't think either side is necessarily in favor here, but Vanquish certainly the favorites in this situation. Probably going to have a lot of people rooting for them on stream. But it would definitely be interesting to see what these teams pull out against each other today.
Well, you kind of mentioned that Vanquish roster, and it is very, very interesting. Why don't we take a look at what we're seeing out of them today? The big name missing here, obvious by its absence, is of course Salmon in the middle there. For those of you who don't know, he is Norwegian, and so that means mandatory military what do they call it? Training, service. I guess? Service, there we go. That is very unfamiliar to us here in South Africa, but it is a thing in a lot of places in the world. So he's going to be out for the foreseeable future. And instead, they've got Miro coming in. They've also got Giliquerda, that's how we say it, Giliquerda, coming in as well, alongside Fable in the DPS role, and then a very familiar backline of Cheetos and Navy. And Risen, you say these two replacement players are every bit as concerning for their opponents as the replacements were.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I've played with Gilly before. Pretty consistent player, moving up the ranks really fast. Myro, I'm not really familiar with his gameplay. I've seen him around on a few teams that I've played against, but pretty confident player I've heard, and again, obviously supported by the original Fables Cheetah Navy kind of core roster. I feel like this team definitely is still strong, and I don't think Sally's should feel any less concerned than they would have with the original roster in the first place.
I think anytime you do take Salmon out, though, you probably breathe a sigh of relief just a little bit. So we'll have to wait and see whether Miro can, establish that same level of fear in their opponent's heart that Salmon was able to do. But But why don't we take a look at their opponents? It is, of course, the Pink Salamanders, a team we will be so familiar with by now. It is going to be Trizzle and Nyan, the original DPS duo, all the way back in the, what were they called? JCM, JFM, something like that, times when they were playing on the Thomas More school team. And then we've got Blur. If you don't know Blur, you must be new here. He's been around not quite as long as I have, but close enough that who cares at that point. Former championship level tank, played at the highest level for a long time. Has taken breaks here and there and kind of more relaxed in his approach to competitive gaming than he was in the past, but still a menace in your backline potentially. And then we've got Luke and Metal Snow, again a part of that old Thomas More core, so a lot of that blood flowing through this team, and a formidable squad to go up against, Risen.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, we see the Luke Metal Snow backline today, actually. No Fluffy, but still similar heroes being shown. This Ana Zen, I mean, we saw a bit of it last time you and I casted together. Really strong backline, pretty. Even though it's so greedy, I mean, the raw skill from these players playing their fronting heroes, really able to just shut down any aggression onto them. I mean, Trizzle, Nyan, Blur, I mean, really consistent roster, been around for ages. Blur also taking a bit of a, like you said, a bit of breaks here and there, also stepping back slightly, taking a bit of a coaching role, especially for players like me. Also Omni Knights as well.
That's true, I forgot that. Yeah. He's Anomaly's coach, right? So you'll know him very well.
Former Anomaly coach, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
A few complications there, but still appreciated in the time that he did serve for the team. Really helped us out. Yeah, I mean, with that like experience from Blur, and I mean the consistency from all of the rest of these players, a really strong team still can't be underestimated in a tournament like this.
Worth noting as well that they've got some significant power in the substitution pool should they choose to dip into that. They've got Tox, Zlade and Fluffy, all support mains in the backline. And as you mentioned, I think it was Fluffy we saw last time out on the Zen. And him and Metal Snow, an absolute menace in that backline. I can't remember who they were playing against, but the tank consistently getting in there and consistently not able to secure kills on that backline. So that might end up being a critical part of this, depending on the playstyle that Vanquish bring out. Because as you'll know, Risen, anytime you change the main tank, the kind of texture of the whole team changes quite significantly, depending on the stylistic approach that player has.
Yeah. I mean, I don't expect much difference from this backline. I mean, everybody knows Luke, right? He is the Zen Yada guy. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see even more Zen than we did from Fluffy. But we're coming in, we're looking at the bans here. On Ilios as well. We pick Ilios, and Pink Salamanders choose to ban out the Lucio, with Vanquish banning out the Winston. What are your thoughts here, Phoenix?
Interesting. I think the Lucio ban is always an interesting one. We see that first up quite a lot. It feels like just a ban, a pretty solid neutral ban. You're not really quite sure what your opponents want to do. You take it out. I think if you had Salmon in here, the complexion would change completely. Pink Salamanders would have a much better sense of what to target. You take out that Junker Queen, maybe the Ram, even the Hazard is quite difficult to play against Salmon's Hazard, but it's kind of a new look from Vanquish, so kind of gives them a bit of power in terms of controlling the bans a bit better. And Vanquish, they take out Blur's Winston, a pretty solid pick, but I often wonder if you'd rather play against his Winston than his Ball, because his Ball is pretty terrifying to play against.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, Sally's flaunting this double flex backline. It's kind of obvious that we see a lot of main support bans from their side, as we see now the Ana Zen coming out. So they really don't want to play against stuff that could shut down greedy comps like this, and they potentially force the enemy team onto a greedy backline as well. And if you're able to play around your greedy backline a little bit better, the enemy team struggling without having like a Lucio, or maybe if they ban a Brig later on to kind of support stuff that you're not used to playing, it ends up playing in your favor. But coming in a pretty spammy ball comp for the side of Sally's, and more engaged style comp on the ball for the side of Vanquish. Gonna be interesting to see how this plays out.
All on ball violence, you hate to see it, but passing like ships in the night here Focus is clearly on the backlines. Jilly dropping low here. Needs to be careful. Will take cover and be brought back up to fighting shape. No problem. Fable in the backline looking for targets. The ball is not one of those. Oh, this is a good catch from Trizzle here. The Kiriko in the backline taken down. 3 kills going the way of the Pink Salamander. So they'll get the first cap here on Ilios. In fact, a late pick potentially from the... Oh, not able to get that Blur. Unfortunately, it's getting drilled into a corner here. We'll have to get out. Doesn't quite get the angle round, but we'll get to safety just in time.
Oh my god. Blur dropping really low there, life flashing before his eyes, but he does get out. I mean, we see this kind of engaged style come from the side of Vanquish, really trying to make something happen here, but it doesn't seem like they're getting much distance on this long range come from the side of Sally's. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Fable though, he'll come in and clean up. 1, 2, 3 kills in the back line. Bench will be saying, that was all me, you lucky bugger. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. They're still winning this team fight for the time being. Blur, low HP now, still alive. Will build up some more percent. Has the adaptive shield. Still staying alive on the point. You're looking to get a cheeky boop off the side. Not going to get it done on this occasion. But buying enough time for his team to get all the way up to 40%.
Oh yeah, that's a really long fight to Vanquish. Not going to be happy with that, but at least they have the point now. Going to look to try and pivot more into this engage style combo as we see the huge engage onto the brig there, just instantaneously blowing them up.
They're very good. It's the difference between this team and some of the previous ones who have faced Pink Salamanders. They're doing a much better job of securing those kills in the backline. We saw Fable coming in and picking up here. Drizzle dropping low. Has to bail. No healing. Yes. Good work from the brig. Going to keep him healthy. And now they'll look to get aggressive. They've still got a few players down here, so they'll need to be careful not to engage at too much of a disadvantage.
Fable does throw the pulse there, not able to connect there. I mean... Sally's, again, a really long fight for Sally's this time. Really drawn out battles for this ball-on-ball comp.
Blur somehow managed to secure that kill onto Fable. Perhaps not expecting that one, Fable. And oh my god, Trizzle, one onto Cheetos, pops the LT, takes himself out, job done. He's got rid of the brig. And now they can look to move onto point here. Minefield has been laid on point. Blur, both balls, in fact, using it on that occasion. 57% up on the clock there. Great work from Nyan. Tracks down Nevi and gets rid of the pesky Juno. Once again, Blur finding another kill. Booping Mirror off the map, I suppose. We didn't quite see that, but given that it was the grapple that got the kill, that can be the only conclusion to draw. And 44% now building, 70% for Vanquish.
No, yeah, I mean, I looked over to my right and all I saw Miro was flying off the map into the void, booped off by Blur. I mean, this ball-on-ball violence is crazy right now.
You love to see it, or alternatively, you hate to see it, depending on your opinion on ball, but... The ball in the backline now, alongside the Tracer, a lot of damage. Just Overclock needs to get hit. There we go. Miro taken down. They have lost Metal Snow in the backline, but they take down Jilly in the meantime as well. Vanquish struggling here in this team fight. Trizzle low on point. There's a Tracer around. He knows that. A good boop to get the Inspire proc and to keep the healing onto Trizzle. They're still set up on points, 80% built up. This is good stuff from Pink Salamanders.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's interesting to see Luke on the brig, actually. I just noticed that now, but Rally coming in now is going to be a really strong side. Oh, big sleep onto Fable.
Ooh,
does get out, yeah. I mean, with the rally from Sally's, it doesn't seem like Vanquish can do much from here.
Doesn't seem so indeed. They are capping the point in the meantime, so this is very good for Vanquish. But if they lose this team fight, it's all over anyways. Big ulti in the backline here. Cheetos taken down. Trizzle wreaking chaos in the enemy backline here. Both supports down. Luke gets rid of the ball as well. It's the Venture, last person standing, and that's going to be it. Fable, though, in the backline gets Metal Snow. Jilly drops. Point flipped. Fable 1 HP. They'll pop the mines on point to make sure contestation is really difficult. Ball will have to just run through and hope he can stay alive for long enough. Dropping so low, Miro being tracked down by Trizzle. The healing is good for the time being though, but eventually he'll find his way into an errant mine, and that will be it. 99-86. Pink Salamanders, in spite of what we might have believed, Risen, coming out on top in map number 1.
Yeah, I mean, we see both of these ball comps. Salamander's one is making sense to me. I'm struggling to understand Vanquish's one with the Tracer Venture and the Brig Juno. I mean, Brig Juno really unable to do really anything in tangent with this ball Tracer. I mean, like you lack the mobility of a Kiri Lucio or the kind of ranged and zoning pressure from an Ana Lucio. It's kind of like struggling to understand the Juno pick in this scenario. The Venture kind of makes sense. I mean, if you want to go for like hard engages and you can't really play Genji, sure, Venture makes sense. But I'd like to see maybe a swap from either this Juno or this Venture, just to kind of make the comp a little bit more tangible. But I guess we're swapping to the Diva now, so this backline does make sense of us, huh?
Yeah, I was remembering, of course, Lucio is banned out, so
yes.
I'm sure they would pick that absolutely, and the Juno kind of a speed boost replacement for that. But a comp that you didn't really feel needed a speed boost, playing behind the ball like that. But you're not playing with the ball now, playing with the Diva instead is Blur. Gets rebuffed for the time being, but will find his way into the backline eventually. Stunned up by the Cassidy, and will just keep creating a bit of a nuisance in the enemy backline here. Not able to really find angles, find shots, or dropping low, and Blur will go down, unfortunately, for Pink Salamanders. They're on the back foot now, Geely dropping low as well, but they're losing players at quite the rate here. Pink Salamanders, Trizzle dropping now, and now they look to get aggressive here through that speed ring. That's what the Juno's for. If they can win a team fight like this, you can feel the value of that hero. But that's going to be it here for fight number 1. Already up to 15%. Vanquish sitting pretty.
Yeah, we see this more peel-oriented comp really coming into play for the side of Vanquish. I mean, they're playing to just peel out the ball, and Blur dropping first there is really a testament to this full-on peel that they're trying to do. Trizzle dropping early as well, and this fight doesn't seem like it has much left to go for it.
Doesn't seem that way, but can still look to build outs here. Don't lose players and will target acquired, drilled in, and he's not even the Venture. Miro getting rid of Nyan there. That's going to be it for this team fight with Luke dropping down as well. The Ana taken down quick as you like. Metal Snow not going to be able to contribute anything else here, and all of a sudden one hero changes, or a couple of heroes change, but all of a sudden Vanquish looking as untouchable as they've looked in the past.
Yeah, and Sally's now opting for this more dive-oriented ball front line with the Brig edition as well. Now trying to just kind of alleviate some of the pressure onto this backline. Big pick onto Fable now. It seems like this dive more responded to like the Cassidy, able to punish it out.
Hello, happy birthday, Trizzle. A gift maybe popped up right into the Echo's shots. That's going to be it here. Great work from Pink Salamander. Struggling uphill now. Already 76% lost on the point, but they will be able to secure a few kills there. Trizzle will finally pop the ultimate here. Will not be able to secure the rematch before his ult ends, but that is a good team fight, but 90% pretty much built up for Vanquish. It's going to have to be perfect from here on out.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, the Cassidy from the side of Vanquish just needs to play slightly more safe, and I mean, still with this Diva like Brig, backline, it's really easy to peel out this Cass. So if Salamanders commit really much everything to try and kill this Cass out and he doesn't die, so Vanquish are looking pretty safe from there on out.
Minefield over the top, a pretty wide one. He was really up high when he popped that. No easy targets for him to take out at the moment here, but the pulse bomb not on the money in that case, or I don't know what I was seeing there. Nyan still has the pulse bomb. Oh, Blur dropping low, Miro dropping low as well, but Miro in a much safer position than Blur is, but already up to full health. Here is the dead. He gets popped up. He doesn't quite find the shot he needs to. The Juno in the backline to keep the team healthy, and this is the power of the Brig. Rally pop just to keep Metal Snow alive, but they're under so much pressure, it's leaving the likes of Trizzle isolated and able to be taken down. Geely will get taken down in the meantime. The sleep is good, but there's so much still barreling into this Pink Salamander's backline. 95% on the clock. Tracer will get the touch here, looking to keep the overtime in tow. Blur will get on as well. Maybe there's still juice here to be squeezed out of this team fight, and Trizzle, he'll find the kill actually. Now they're together, tank and DPS hooking up to find some kills here. Can they find any more? Venture dropping low, under pressure but healed up nicely. Fable about to respawn any moment now, but Miro finds Luke in the backline. Blur and Fable again, Trizzle now in the backline, the enemy backline, and Pink Salamanders are doing a good job of bringing this team fight back to an even fate, and they've taken down Nevi now. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe there's still something to play for, but they've lost a lot of players with the pulse bomb on the ground, not going to hit anything, unfortunately, for Pink Salamanders, as the tectonic overdrive comes out, and that's going to be enough to cure the point. All evened up here on Ilios.
A really strong comeback from Vanquish. They're opting for the more peel-heavy comp. I mean, it's really tough playing ball into a Diva-oriented comp. It's like you want to go for slams, and it's like you can't really follow up on these slams because you're getting marked out by half the enemy team. Half your bullets are getting damage matrix. This is kind of difficult to try and pop one person off of a slam. Kind of have to play slower, try and poke people out, make people low, and then go in. And this is difficult, especially with playing with the Tracer Echo when you're trying to lean more into this fast-paced dive. And then it's like, oh, but your Brig and Ana just got traded out, and the ball comp doesn't really enjoy the backline trades. So I mean, we're opting into this brawl centric comp, try to counter out the D.Va, it seems like.
Interesting that Salamander is not going for that opening teleport. It's allowing Vanquish to get a nice aggressive position here very, very early on. We'll see if that works out well for them. They've got the D.Va in the backline. Blur has switched it up here onto the Ram. Does get the one kill. Will get another with the help of Trizzle on the Mei. So a wholesale compositional shift here from Pink Salamanders. Not happy with what the build comp offered on that previous map. Will instead go for something a little bit more rush orientated, more brawl focused instead of ball focused. And it's looking to work out well for them so far in this first team fight. Already got the point, already ticking things up, and now moving together as a team very nicely off the back of this Juno.
Oh yeah, for sure. This Mei cast core, whatever matcha, it's really hard for the D.Va to really get any space to this comp.
Oh, Fable already taken down. Trizzle finding the headshot on that occasion. That's going to give them the numbers advantage here. Wall up. Isolating the D.Va. Needs to be careful here. Does Mira will get back in time. That's going to be good for Vanquish, but they're under so much pressure here. Miro is so low, looking to get aggressive once again, but he needs to be careful here. He's pulling a lot of resources from his team, and as a result, Chile getting isolated and taken down in the backline. He doesn't have quite the same support as he did on the ball, as he did in the previous map here from the D.Va, so it's a lot more difficult for Vanquish to execute.
Yeah, I think we see a bit of a timing issue with the side of Vanquish there. Chile going in and popping out of the ground really early with little to no follow-up from the front line of Vanquish. So, I mean, maybe need to clean it up a bit there, and we have a game on our hands.
Are playing into the Cassidy now instead, or as I say that, Metal Snow taken down. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map though, Blur doing damage with the first tier. There's one kill. Can he find any more? He pops the Annihilation as well. He will get, yes he does. Nevi goes down, or Sojourn Solo gets tracked down and taken down as well. The shield will keep him healthy, and they kill the baby D.Va as well. Excellent play from Pink Salamanders. A messy team fight, but they come out on top with 80% built on the clock.
And we see swaps from Miro onto the Queen, maybe try and increase the pace a bit, but two really strong, or decently strong ultimates from either side of the team here. This fight could go either way.
Could go either way indeed. High Noon in the background here. The wall blocking them off. They need to be careful. They're coming forward here. That should be the Juno going down. No, I guess he fired. I didn't hear that. As Blur is taken down on the front line here. Oh, Fable manning up against Metal Snow. Gets a third. Can he get a fourth? Is it on the cards here? No, it's not, but it doesn't matter because Vanquish have finally taken control of the point here. But with 99% built from Sally's, they've got a long road ahead of them here if they're going to win this one.
We see an unlucky wall onto Blur there, being able to kill him out fast before he's able to hold the space against the enemy team so that the High Noon gets any value. But
nice
coming in with a Rally and a Juno Ray. Again, two really strong ultimates. This fight again could go either way. Oh.
Going deep, but with Cheetahs going down, that's the Rally taken out of the team fight. That's exactly the opportunity that they were waiting for on the side of Pink Salamanders. They find one kill, find the Junker Queen as well, and that might just be it here for this team fight. Venture in the mix here, but not likely to get out of the mix, unfortunately. As I say that though, not going down for the time being. Hello, Jan. Start hitting his shots here. Great Blizzard though on the front line is gonna make it impossible for Vanquish to get comfortable on the point. And once it's all said and done, Pink Salamanders take the 1-0 lead.
And I mean, really a testament to either team's flexibility. Like we see these ball comps, and then we see the D.Va comp swap, and then the Ramatra comp swap. Each team are really not looking to stick one comp throughout this entire tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been pretty tough for them, but it's kind of a sign of their flexibility, which is what you like to see. Is yeah, what do you think the difference was between the two teams on Ilios there? Obviously, a lot to talk about compositionally in terms of what worked and what didn't work, but what are your thoughts on how that played out?
In my opinion, I think Vanquish might be struggling a little bit with the timing. like we saw Jilly on the venture going in, and then really little to no follow-up, and we saw a little bit of this on the ball comp as well. And then the sort of Sally is kind of all intelligent. They understand what's going on. They understand where they want to be, how they want to play it. I think there's a little bit of that difference that makes them a little bit stronger in the team fights. We see a lot of these team fights get really messy from either side during the mid fight, so I think there's not much of a difference between teams there. Maybe a little bit of target focus issues, or understanding where we want to path to after an engage, stuff like that. Maybe staging issues as well. We see a little bit of that when Blur gets walled off in that last fight. Maybe he wanted his team to play up a bit closer so we could answer to the wall, but the rest of the team are kind of playing to go second on point, right? So we got walled out and we didn't get much value from our ultimates. Ult fights seem to be pretty decent for both team. I don't think there's much of a difference between either, but so far, really competitive match.
Well, I mean, that goes without saying. Neither team really dominating either of the maps that they won. Of course, Pink Salamander's coming the closest on that third map, but it's clearly some kind of compositional rock, paper, scissors here that the teams are figuring out what works for them. Right, we do know what map number 2 will be. It is going to be Rialto, of course, loser picks. So Vanquish, they'll be the ones choosing this map. So a map kind of typified on the first point by long sight lines, I think. We might see a bit of Widow, we might see something of those sorts. And kind of a map where the dive also makes a lot of sense, I think. And with Winston already being banned, can't be taken out again unless Blur and Co choose to ban it themselves.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we know Trizzle, the Widow connoisseur himself. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit of Widow from Trizzle here. I'm not entirely sure about Vanquish's DPS line. I know I haven't seen them play Widow at all, actually, when I've been playing against them. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like a dive of their own. Maybe now they want to play the Winston, maybe a D.Va again. D.Va fairly popular on Rialto, they could be playing that. Sally's again could go for anything at this point, I think. Salamanders do enjoy playing their standard comps. Sigma is a prevalent hero on this map. Again, D.Va is a prevalent hero, and Winston as well. But we do see the D.Va ban, so D.Va off the table here.
Interesting ban. I don't feel like the D.Va was necessarily that problematic, but also don't think there's any obvious issues that Pink Salamander were facing in that previous map. The map they did lose, of course, they did have Mirror on the D.Va, so perhaps thinking of that as an easy target. Vanquish, though, they get rid of Metal Snow's Anna. That's an interesting ban. I think we didn't... I really see anything from Metal Snow that suggested he was a kind of linchpin for that composition in the previous map, but maybe they felt a bit differently on the side of Vanquish.
So these bans are kind of like tangible, right? It's D.Va ban, like the first is the Ana ban. So it's interesting because Vanquish don't want to play into the Ana and all of this, and maybe Salamanders want to play a Widow, right? And banning out a D.Va, hit scans really don't like D.Va. But on top of the fact that now having this Ana ban, it kind of sucks, right? Because you can... Ana is low-key free if there's no D.Va on the enemy team. Like, there's no threat of D.Va. There's not that much that can shut you down besides like a Winston or a Ball, which are arguably easier to play into as Ana than a D.Va. Because D.Va kind of just eats up all your cooldowns and makes it really hard for you to take any space as the support player if a D.Va is sitting around, because you can't really sleep her to push her away, can't anti her to push her away, and I mean, shooting bullets, I mean, that doesn't really work as an Ana into a D.Va with full armor, right? Unless you have your whole team shooting at her, which she can fairly comfortably soak up if she's not sleeping or anti, right? So I think the Widowmaker is not shown here. We do see the Echo Ash from the side of Sally's playing this Suedo ball comp, and then Vanquish opting for a pretty standard double speed Ramatra brawl.
Ooh, a lot of damage out onto Mirror. Straight off the back here, there's the ball in the back line. Cheeky boot there from Blur actually helped secure the kill onto Mirror with the help of the Discord Orb. Nice mythic skin here, throwing money at them. That doesn't feel very Monk-like to me, but what can I say? But good start for Pink Salamanders immediately, finding pay dirt with Blur and Luke.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's ball comp, a really good answer to a brawl comp that wants to play tight knit most of the time. I think if Vanquish are going to stick onto this comp, it's really going to be up to Cheetos and Jilly to try and clear out somebody. It's just there's no flankers from the side of Pink Salamanders, so there's not much that this Lucio Genji can do to clear out. So, I mean, I'd be more excited if we could maybe swap this Lucio to Brigitte or Kiriko maybe, because if you're not really clearing flankers with Lucio Genji, then the Lucio is kind of useless in this situation because you already have speed for your main core with the Juno, so you might as well swap to a Brig to try and sustain a bit more, especially like for a bulk comp. You can sustain the dives, you can brawl out people close to you a bit easier with a Brig. I think that would be a decent swap for the side of Vanquish.
Yeah, it feels like you probably only really need one of the Juno or the Lucio, right? So either you get rid of the Juno and get something like a Kiriko, but again, the Kiriko is kind of muted with no Ana being available to pick. So I imagine that Metal Snow would probably still be on the Ana here if you could, and perhaps Nevi might as well, though she's been playing a lot of the Juno, so kind of works for them. But you do need some sort of speed to help the Ramatra control the tempo of the team fights a bit. Yeah. But it's going to be tough here early on. Once they get underneath this high ground, they might be a bit better positioned. But it's very easy for them to get stuck here because they don't really have an amazing way to contest the high ground tank-wise. Of course, Genji can get up there, but solo, he's not really likely to win things out here. As we can see, kind of forced back quite easily and chased down. Trizzle's not having any of that. Filiquerda immediately punished and sent back to spawn. Trizzle now from the high ground. Oh, Winston's back in the game. I forgot about that. Something we didn't think about, and in fact, not the makes a lot more sense here than the Ram can hook up in a traditional dive here with the Genji.
Yeah, no, for sure. This dive swap's a little bit better. Faster comp, it's hard for Bolt to punish really fast comps, so I'm surprised at this Winston swap. And we can see now as we just get really aggressive onto this backline, they kind of force just all the way out.
Yeah, great work from the backline though. Just barely able to keep the Ashe alive. Blur dropping low now. Adaptive shields will keep him alive. Neon will find a pick in the meantime, and Blur out for just a moment before he heads back in. Will pay with his life this time around though. Unfortunately, Filiquerda dropping low, taken down. Neon covering his backline there so effectively, as we've seen them do so often throughout this match so far. It's really their biggest strength, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this backline, they're really greedy, and I mean, but still, with this long sideline, it's really hard for Winston to kind of stage anywhere comfortably without just getting shot, right? And I mean, we see as people try to wide swing around these angles, they just get sniped by pretty much Zenyatta, Echo, Ashe, right? It's just really hard to do anything without taking damage first.
Jan having a very good game here. He's not letting them get away with anything at the moment is the Ashe. Every time you try and find the angles, like you say, he's spotting them out and putting the pressure on them, and he's got such an incredible backline keeping him healthy that even the dives aren't really able to get rid of the Ashe. Now here comes the dive once again. Genji getting aggro. Miro so low, 1 HP. Blur will eventually take him down. Metal Snow though will also go down here. Strizzle knows a thing or two about Genji, I guess, but not how to hit shots with the shurikens, unfortunately, as he's not able to build up towards that Dragon Blade during the duplicate. Fable though, he has popped the overclock, finds 1 kill, but that's it for the time being. Has the perk to give him the extra charge during that, I think. The Frizzle though wreaks havoc in the backline once again. He's taken down Nevi, under pressure, but the healing is so good. Blur in the backline will secure the kill. No, not quite able to get the kill on the Sojourn. Fable will get out with just a sliver of HP, but once things stabilize here, they're still holding quite comfortably, and this ball is such a problem.
No, yeah, and we see the Kiriko swap from Vanquish, which I really like, able to set up way more angles on this comp. Crazy bob into the main angle there, but yeah, I think Vanquish still struggling with these cross angles, man. This is so hard to try to close the distance on his backline.
Oh man, they are getting absolutely blended here. Metal Snow will pick up that final hit, but they are struggling here on Vanquish to execute the dive. It feels like on a basic level, they're not getting it right. They're not hooking up together, and the peel is just too good for any kind of sloppiness to actually find any value.
I feel like this comp is demanding so much from the Kiriko because the Juno is just outranged at this point. I really want to see, like, I don't know, Lucio's back in the game now. We could play Lucio Q and just try and full engage on this slow pokey backline and just make something happen.
Again, they have bodies in the backline, but they're not finding anything. Although that said, that's a lot of ults committed defensively here for Pink Salamanders post support using the elf, and that means the Genji comes in. But Luke says, "What Genji? I don't see a Genji. All I see is a corpse." And that's going to be it for this team fight. A full hold for Pink Salamanders. And looking uncomfortable. The peel just too strong. The backline too steadfast. And that's going to be it for round number 1.
Oh yeah, I mean the super like spammy backline and a DPS lineup as well for the Sallies just kind of allows Blur on the ball to do what he wants, you know, like come back for some healing and then just go wreak havoc on some lone soul who gets left behind. And I feel like if you don't have the Ana in the game, you kind of just have to play the Kiri Lucio, right? This Juno is just
a scoreboard.
Yeah, the scoreboard is in the game.
What black magic did you pull to get this right, Peach? Because we know Blizzard doesn't like leaking game stats while the game is happening. But that is very interesting. Blur doing a lot of damage. Trizzle doing a lot of damage. Very, very cool.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's like the Juno is just outranged, not only by her own team, but the enemy team. Is that you try and peek to get value, you have to overextend to do anything with your torpedoes and your blasters. Like, what does the speed ring do in this comp? Not much, right? It's like you are not mobile enough for your speed to be accessible. And this is why Lucio is also still played, because having the speed be mobile with you is a factor in the fact that you can help out your flankers and play around angles and stuff while still being able to speed around your team. And I think we do see the Kiriko Lucio now, but with a Sigma instead. So I'm super confused as to what Vanquish is trying to pull here.
Sorry, I'm just distracted by what black magic I'm seeing here for production. Speaking of unfortunate circumstances, Blur sent into the drink. I'm sure he's been on the other end of that so much. And Trizzle, he'll go down as well. So immediately, Vanquish finding a couple of key kills that are just going to buy a little bit more time as their defense gets started, though. Not much. Blur already back and ready to rumble here. Kind of forced off again, but we'll come back and we'll get a boop off here onto the Ash. Ash able to get back up at a moment's notice, but put under pressure from the ball once again here. We just see the power of Blur's ball at the moment. That I don't see how you don't ban this going into the next map, no matter what happens here, but struggling a bit to find a way in at the moment, Pink Salamanders.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, as soon as they get their foothold, they will be able to press on through. The slowness of this Sigma and not much sustain with this backline. It's just an inevitable slow crumble on the HP bars. And we see like people just getting left behind and punished. Like Chiliqueta going really low and actually losing his life.
Nestle Snow, you monster. Just tracked him down. I'm the flanker now. In fact, I'm the DPS now. 1 kill, 2 kill, make it 3. No, not able to secure the last hit on that occasion, but it's good enough for a team fight win here. Team kill. Clean as you like, only Trizzle dropping. They might just win this right now. Can anyone get in here? Vanquish. Anybody nearby? The Venture will manage to get the touch here, just barely, and will buy enough time for the team to get in. Oh, nobody's on point from either team right now. There we go. The touch is there. Both supports heads up play, but unfortunately they cancel each other out, and Middle Snow will pay with his life. A bit of over-aggression from Blur there. They might have won that right in that moment, but they still got plenty of time to find a way in. But Nyan dropping. This might be teamfight open. That's it. They do force the sound barrier. Cheeto's committing that. I don't know how necessary that was. Will they end up paying for that? 2 minutes left on the clock. Vanquish holds firm for the time being.
And now Vanquish have to be really, really scared of this ball on the flankiest to flank angles in their backline. The Sig is scouting it though, so he's not going to be able to hang around. He's going to roll through and try and do something here, but just trying to create time for the Salamander's backline to walk up. Oh my!
Oh no!
Oh my days! Oh my days.
We have a name for that. We have a name for that.
We do have a name for that.
And that was about as clear an example as you'll ever see. Sometimes it's in the middle of a team fight. It's messy. You don't know which way the team fight's going. But on that occasion, I think that was Miro just getting forced back by a very, very well-placed minefield from Blur. And they had every opportunity to hold that for longer. But unfortunately for Vanquish, a little bit inattentive in that moment. And that's it for map number 2.
Oh. Classic. I hate to say it, but classic C9 scenario. It's just ball usually the king of the C9 scenario with the minefield. It's just, what do you do in that situation? You just kind of sit there and blow up the mines. I mean, maybe you could blow up a few with the Sigma shield, but then you have no shield and you just get shot. It's like, I mean, it is a C9, but not as bad as we've seen in the past. I mean, there was clear reasoning for backing up there. It's just an unfortunate situation to have to be forced to do that. But
I think what makes it worse, though, is that it was still a 5v5. Nobody had died on either team. The team fight was like still building up, and then the game just ends.
Yeah. No, I mean, the first map, really competitive. Second map seemed to be a little, just a little bit more in Salamander's favor. Really strong on this comp. I think Vanquish's backline maybe needs to change up a few things. This Juno doesn't seem to be working for them. But then again, we see Salamander somehow making the Juno work in a ball comp. It doesn't make sense to me. These teams are playing extremely out of the ordinary comps and just pushing through it with raw skill, it seems. Third map, what are you saying to your friends on Vanquish right now, Sunphoenix?
My friends on Vanquish. I think you're still in this, man. I think that C9 is a mental exploder. Don't get me wrong. And I think you're a team that's still working on stuff, right? This is a team that has seen significant changes to their frontline, especially, and you can see that they're having to find a different style now, right? Yeah. They've been so used to Salmon wreaking havoc in the opponent's backline or being the tip of the spear, being able to pump resources in him and know he'll find value out of that. But they're struggling to execute in that same way off the back of Miro. That's not necessarily a criticism of Miro and his skill level, but it's definitely something that Vanquish are struggling to handle. So I guess you kind of look at this from Vanquish's perspective and be like, okay, we're still in a rebuilding phase here in some level. Win or lose here, we're getting data to work with and we're understanding where we are and what works best for us. But we'll have to wait and see what they can do as we head into map number 3, and it is going to be COWZA. So Flashpoint, very brawly often, but still feels like a place where Ball can execute just as well as he can anywhere else, if not better. So I wouldn't be shocked if Van take the ball out of play here.
No, I wouldn't be surprised with a ball ban. Don't seem too comfortable on it themselves, and Salamanders seem extremely comfortable on it, so I'm surprised if that's a ban. I'm not sure what Sally's ban here. Maybe something that just disrupt Ball. Like, I mean, they've already banned out. Have they banned out the Diva? Did they ban out Diva last? Yes, they banned out Diva last map, so it's not on the table anymore. I mean, they could ban stuff like Hazard still, Winston, maybe even a Kiriko if they want. Stuff that could disrupt their ball dive a little bit too much. And they do. They ban out the Kiriko aside of Sally's, try and maybe force this Ana Zen backline again to play ball, and Vanquish ban Mei. I'm interested as to why Mei is the ban here. Maybe they want to play Diva again, so they don't want to worry about this Ramatra switch that Salamanders could potentially swap onto again. So they want to try and cut down as much of the Diva resistance as possible. Could be a reason, but yeah, COWZA, really popular map. A lot of teams practice this Flashpoint map. People enjoy this map over New Jump City way more. So this map, I think, yeah, still, as you say, I don't think Vanquish are out of it just yet. Really popular map. Teams scrim it all the time, so could be any strategy coming in here.
I do not like not banning the ball here. This feels like a flex of you think you know what the problem is, but you're just overthinking it. And I feel like just put Blur on the back foot a little bit. Yes, he showed you the Ram. We know how good he is on the Winston, on the Rhine, on whatever you want to put him on, but he clearly gravitates towards the ball. So don't give him the chance to embarrass you on that hero for the third game in a row. Rather just, eat the ego and ban it and look to beat them with whatever their second best composition is.
But I mean,
we'll have to wait and see.
On first map, we did see Vanquish take a point playing their Diva comp into the ball. So banning out this Mei and further strengthening their diva pick could be the way to go here. But we do see that Sally's are also reading into this, starting out originally on the Ramacha variant of their comps that they've played so far, but Vanquish playing Arisa now. So they're not even playing the diva. So this is like a twist of like reading the enemy team. And I think both of these tanks are decently strong. Ramatra really strong right now, boosted by this Ana Juno backline. I'm not a big fan of Ana Juno backline. I think Brig Juno is just a stronger variant of it, and I think it might come into play a lot more with this Genji Kaz Arisa trying to punish out this Sojourn and this Ramatra.
Well, now that the Mei ban makes a bit more sense, right? I think Arisa has an absolutely terrible time versus Mei, so
yeah.
If we were going to play this, it makes sense to get rid of that hero, but it doesn't prevent Blur and the rest of the team from playing as well. Oh my god, Trizzle spots Fable out, recognizes that he's low, good comms from the team, and helps them secure that kill onto the Cassidy. Now they will move forward, look for more. Brig is the main target from the Genji, and Yan, though, will take down the enemy Genji in the meantime, and once again, a firm hold from Pink Salamanders to secure the first cap here on the Flashpoint map Servasa, but it's not over yet. Cheetos taken down late in this team fight. They might lose out on the other support as well. Yes, Blur secures that final hit to get rid of Nevi, and that is a disaster of a team fight for Vanquish.
Really nice slow to just get out from Blur there. I mean, the really quick pick onto the Sojourn is kind of over at that point. No real responsive damage, and Salamander's able to just run them down with no worries in the world.
Back onto the Venture now. I'm not happy with the Genji. The Venture has been a pretty key part of Vanquish's composition. I can't complain about the results too much in spite of the team's results, but Trizzle immediately makes a fool out of me as he gets rid of that Venture quick as you like. Navy dropping as well, and once again an explosive team fight from our blue squad. 4 kills, 5 kills, a team kill, clean as you like. 0 deaths so far for Pink Salamanders as they secure the first point on Servasa.
And I mean, Vanquish's comp is kind of looking to just clear people away, right? And play off of an advantage like that. And Salamanders are not really giving them the chance to do that. Really playing fast, not really taking a lot of the spam, not letting this Venture set up, and they're just kind of clearing out the first people that they can run onto, right? So really strong showing from Salamanders this map.
Oh, big anti onto that hero is once again the outcomes out actually does secure the kill onto Metal Snow, but Luke will avenge his fallen brethren on the back line, and now Annihilation pop. They're not going to let this go lightly, if at all. Pink Salamanders as they look to clean things up once again. Fable dropping low, no healing available, does have to beat a hasty retreat, but that's going to allow his opponents to get set up on the point once again. Healing is back in the form of Navy, but once more the aggression coming through from Pink Salamanders. Can they find anything else? Do they need to? Not for the time being, but Blur will have to rotate back towards the point now as they are egressing here onto the point. Dunker Queen dropping low, taken down. Miro isolated once again, and Metal Snow again putting the team on his back, contributing with the damage. But as I say, that Chiliquerda comes in, gets that kill, but he's not going to get anything else, as once again the backline too good. Even when they lose players, they never crumble, and Pink Salamanders already halfway to capping the second point.
Vanquish do get the fast triple respawn though, so able to come in and still get at least one more fight for this point to try and make it even 1-1. Let's see where this goes.
A lot of damage coming through here from the Sojourn. Overclock available, but so is the Dragon Blade. 1, 2. Can he find a third? Yes, he can somewhere. Tectonic Overcharge. Doing a ton of damage. Finds 1 kill. But that's going to be it for the time being. But they've got numbers here. Blur is very low. And they've got the Venture in the back line. Almost got the kill. Not able to secure it. Yes, the drill through will get that. They'll get Blur as well. Chiliquerda showing up on the Venture and securing a teamfight win for his team.
Oh yeah, big showing from Jilly there. Able to just shut down the Sojourn and push him away so that there's not much responsive damage onto the Queen. This Queen swap, faster playstyle with the double speed seems to be playing into Vanquish's kind of style. Vanquish turning into almost sort of the dive comp now, so it's up to Salamanders to just clear out the person closest to them, and if they can get that done, then Vanquish are in a really bad spot.
Ooh, into the backline here. The Ana anti-heal though means you don't want to get too much more aggressive, but immediately a flurry of kills once again. The Venture in the backline finding the kills. Trizzle gets the kill and says, that's enough of that team fight. I'm going to end it on my own terms. And that's going to be it for team fight number 2. Last team fight now for this point.
Yeah, and I mean, we see, as I was saying, Vanquish really understanding how their comp is going to play into Salamander's comp. They're just going really fast, really quick, executing the first squishy that comes into their LOS.
Lots to work with now, including the Carnage here. Straight away, that's a lot of damage. Will get stepped up, but not going to be able to secure the kill there. Luke taken down, but Annihilation on point. Blur, he's low, but he's chasing down. But Miro comes back to point, secures the kill on the enemy tank, and that should be it for this point. Signs of life here from Vanquish, and that's good to see as they secure the second cap on COWZA.
Oh, yeah, really, really good showing from Vanquish, being able to scrounge back whatever ability they had to kind of take that point back for themselves, creating it even now 1-1. 2 ults from the side of Salamanders, though, so this fight seems to be in their favor, but let's see what Vanquish can do.
Indeed, here the overclock started off here, looking for targets now. He's found one in his own backline, but oh my gosh, Giliqueta once again finding a target in the backline. This time it's Luke. They will get the kill, but this might be enough. They've lost the support now, so Blur has to play a little bit more carefully than he would otherwise like to, I think, on the Ramatra. They will move aggressively now. Cheetos moving around nicely, trying to control Blur up and doing so very effectively here, but that's a blue Juno ultimate in play. Metal Snow keeping the team healthy, and Cheetos eventually tracked down and taken down. Giliqueta though will get rid of the enemy tank, so this is good for Vanquish once again. Tectonic overcharge committed here. Nyan under pressure here, missing 2 shots, but it shouldn't matter here as they will take down the Sojourn once again. So first point cap this time going the way of Vanquish.
Yeah, I mean, 2 ultimates and you still lose the fight. That's really, really, really heartbreaking for Salamanders. Now Vanquish fronting with the 2 really strong ultimates. I'm just going to be surprised if Salamanders can push through this choke comfortably.
No Kiriko in play, which means this Carnage can find a lot of value. And here it comes up. That's a target. That's a lot of damage. He's there to follow up. Luke down, Metal Snow down, Yan down. Team fight over quick as you like. Ultimate perfectly used there by Miro, who's showing up in a big way on the Junker Queen.
Yeah, I mean, 1 ultimate, 1 fight win. That's the best you could ask for, right? Now fronting the Ray, I mean, I don't even think the Annihilation from Blur can withstand the amount of damage that is about to happen.
We'll have to wait and see. There is the Orbital Ray. Immediately, the aggression comes out. Nyan takes up Babel, but they will lose Metal Snow in the meantime. Nyan will go down. Cheetos finds Luke. Miro finds Blur. All of a sudden, the script has been flipped 180, and Vanquish are in total control on COWZA.
Yeah, it'll be in 2-1 now. Last fight territory, match point territory for Vanquish now. Looking really comfortable. Fronted with a beat. Really good response to Annihilation that's going to come out of Blur. And no real other ultimates coming up. But we do see the Pharah now going to be able to spam out this Divey Calm before they actually get anything to do. So Vanquish going to have to play a little bit more safe here.
We'll see. The way they've been playing is it's all in or nothing at all here. Taken down, kind of got left behind by the team there. A bit inattentive from him and the squad, and Miro will secure that kill. Pops the Annihilation now. Where is Cheetos with the beat? Nowhere to be seen as Giliqueta goes down. They're trying to cap this point up on the blue side, but not going to get the job done just now. Here is Cheetos with the beat, but it's too little too late perhaps. So have they got enough in this to win this? Oh, so we'll have to wait and see. No, Cheetos goes down, both supports go down, and that should be it here for this team by Vanquish. Just a little bit slow on using some of their ultimates, and I think that cost them in the end.
Yeah, I think trying to over-extenuate themselves after being a bit too slow. Cheetos getting a bit aggressive there, diving straight into the core of a full bro comp. Not the wisest idea, losing his life for it, and fight soon last after that. Ultimates, we have a Ray from Salamanders, but the Queen ult to respond to that as well, so this fight again could go anyway. It's such competitive fights we're seeing right now.
Indeed, we've seen how much value this Queen Art can be. But Trizzle says, I'm not wasting any time. Jumps in nice and aggressive and pops the sprinkler to get rid of Miro. Juno out over the drink. Not likely to get back, but with a team fight dropping, that's not such a problem. 64% already built up. We might be going to a point number 5.
Would be crazy if we go to 0.5. What a way to end potentially the last map in the series. 3 ultimates from Sally's, but 2 really strong ultimates if used correctly for Vanquish. This is going to be a fight of the ages.
Oh, there we go. There's the ultimate, the Carnage. Finds one. Pulse Bomb in the mix now as well. Somehow doesn't secure that kill onto the Cassidy. Aiming to tiptoe his way out of that one. But Miro has found the Juno in the meantime. So many kills going both ways here. But with the rally, Luke might be exactly what his team needs. But Nyan's popping off in the backline. He's found 2 kills. Babel, last man standing here. The point was flipped red at some point. But it's not going to be that way for long, as they are dominating this team fight. Nyan finds his 4th kill of the fight to secure the 2nd point for Pink Salamanders. 0.5, here we come.
Yeah, I mean, Vanquish flipping the point there was a really good play, rotating around, but losing your Juno to the Cassidy High Noon fairly early, you just have no way to really sustain Salamanders just walking backwards onto you, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, now 0.5 of potentially last map in the series. Salamander's fronting an ultimate, and they're going to pop it right now.
Oh, here we go. This is an annihilation if I've ever seen one. That's 1 kill. Any more in the offing? Not quite for the time being. Blur dropping down. In fact, he will get taken down. A huge counterplay, but they've lost both healers now on the side of Vanquish, and I think you just call it here if you are the red team. Back out, get ready to reset, and take another team fight.
A bit of miscommunication, I think. Blur kind of staying in and brawling it out, but the rest of his team backed up to point to just cap. I don't think he might have not heard the comm. I mean, pretty decent spot for Vanquish now. They're able to kind of just walk onto point like this, and Salamanders aren't there to answer.
Now, they kind of didn't respect the positioning here from Vanquish, but does it actually matter? Miro's already been exploded on the front line. Navy drops as well. So all of a sudden, they got a good position set up on point there. But they're so split out here. Look at where the Ana is. There's a play in the back line. There's a play in the front line. They're not able to execute as well as they did on points 3 and 4. 2 and 3 here on Survivor. Yes.
And I mean, I see, like I said before, this Queen comp wants to go fast and hard, doesn't want to take much pre-poke because you don't have the HP to do that. And this fire swap seems to be the crux of the whole situation. They're unable to get any good positioning without just being spammed like we're seeing now. It's really hard.
Yeah, lots of HP being traded here. Pulse Bomb, though, ready to go in the backline. Gets into the backline, pops it, doesn't find anything on this occasion, though, Fable. Unfortunately for him, Ninja Blade on the front line, though. Giliquator, he has switched onto the Robot Ninja. The Venture not cutting the mustard here, but it's not going to be enough. It might all be over here for Vanquish. Drizzle finds a direct hit onto Nevi. They're keeping on the point here, but yeah, not likely to keep this one alive, unfortunately. Vanquish, a valiant effort here on map number 3, but Pink Salamanders proving too strong on the day, and they secure the win 3-0 and 3rd place in the Premier Division of the Summer Series.
Oh man, we saw a breath of life. Vanquish being able to take 2 points back to back, making this last map really competitive. But the Farah swap, I mean, they just didn't have an answer for it. Like, look at this. We see the crazy first intention engages just melting them without any real response. But then the fire swap just able to poke at them and spam and spam and spam and spam, not letting this Queen really get any space to do anything, really. And I think, like, again, this Juno, I really don't understand this Juno pick. Maybe I'm talking about it too much, being a little bit too harsh about it. But Kiriko Lucio, I think right now is just a better choice, especially in the dive-centric comps. Like, everybody talks about Rush comp, right? But Rush was invented for Queen. Queen is essentially a dive hero just stuck on the ground. You still play it like you would pretty much any dive. You don't want to take too much pre-poke. You want to get in there quick as possible, mess them up with angles, and get out. And I think the Juno kind of slows down the pace of that comp a lot. And I think it really showed, which not being able to go in fast, get spammed out by Farah, not much you can do from there, right? It's like you can only heal so much damage in this game. And Salamanders came out on top because of it. Vanquish shouldn't be disappointed, I think. Really, really, really strong showing, especially in the times that they were winning. Looked really strong, still looked exactly like they knew what they wanted to do. and going to be interesting to see the next games that they play throughout this series. We need an MVP, I'm pretty sure.
Go for it.
What are your thoughts? I want to hear your thoughts first.
No, that's not how this works. You pick the MVP.
Me? Only me?
Yes, the color guy picks the MVP and the play-by-play.
Okay, I think
make it look smart by contradicting that or agreeing, you know?
Yeah, okay. I think for me, there's a lot of names that could go up here. Really strong showing from either side. I mean, but I think the one that stuck out to me the most was Chisel. In my opinion. When he made the correct hero swaps, really showed up, especially on the Fire pick. Did a lot on the Echo pick. Heroes that you don't necessarily see Trizzle playing a lot of the time. You see Trizzle usually on these hit scans, like Widowmaker a lot. I think I've seen a little bit of Ashe. Some Tracer, but yeah, you don't really see Trizzle on these flex DPS picks, and he really showed up today on these heroes. I think every barrage in existence was shot at the enemy queen, but hey, you have to make something happen with borderline dangerous ultimate for yourself and the enemy team. So I think for MVP, I feel like Trizzle is a good shout.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think you can make an argument for most players on the Pink Salamander's side. I think Nyan stood up to me as well. There were a lot of times where he was quietly doing a lot of damage. Between him, Luke, and Metal Snow, the backline was inassailable a lot of the times, and we didn't see a clear example of that outside of Rialto. That was the map that kind of made that trio look untouchable in the backline. So credit to everyone. And of course, maybe this is just a reflection of my smooth brain, but it's hard to look past the tank players, broadly speaking, as the tip of the spear of any respective compositions. And Blur really did dictate the flow of the game when he was on the wrecking ball. So credit to him, credit to everybody on the Pink Salamander squad. They looked absolutely perfect almost in a lot of cases on these maps. So credit to them, credit to Vanquish, as you say. They looked good when they were looking good, but they also looked a little bit almost rusty, you can almost say. But I think that is a reflection of a lack of synergy, especially compared to what we know them for with Salmon in. So it's going to be a learning time for them, a learning period for them. But that is going to be it from us for the summer series until next week. Now, don't panic, guys. There's plenty of Overwatch on the horizon, not just in the summer series, where we have our final match, which is going to be our up and down match, as the GSL used to call it back in the day. But it is the promotion relegation match. It's going to be Pangolins taking on Nameless from the lower bracket. So the winner of that will stay in the upper bracket or go to the upper bracket. The loser will have to fight their way through, not the upper bracket, sorry, the upper division. The loser will have to fight their way through the lower division come the winter series or whatever's next up. But that's not the only Overwatch we've got coming in South African Overwatch. We've got the Pride Cup coming at some point in the future, and keep an eye out for more and more different kinds of Overwatch tournaments, not just competitive, but plenty of competitive. But if you're an Overwatch fan, an Overwatch lover, South African Overwatch lover, you guys are going to be eating good this year, all I will say. So keep an eye out on the socials. You know where to go. I'm Sun Phoenix at Sun Phoenix on Twitter. He's risen nowhere. He exists nowhere on the internet. But at ZA Overwatch is what you want to follow on Twitter. That's where you'll keep an eye out for the everything happening in South African Overwatch. And guys, ACGL grind, spend your embers, please. If you want Overwatch to get some love.
Put Overwatch up there.
ACGL, exactly. Put Overwatch up there. I don't know where we are. When I looked right at the beginning, we were like second behind CS2 or something. So go there, spend your embers on Overwatch if you want to see ACGL do some Overwatch stuff there. Then, of course, at ZA Overwatch on Twitter, Twitch rather, where you guys are now. Give us a follow, give us a sub if you've got some extra cash to throw around. YouTube at ZA, youtube.com/competitive Overwatch South Africa. If you want to catch all the VODs, including this one, that's where you can go for that. And then, of course, the ZA Overwatch Discord server, aka COWZA. If you want to get involved in anything, find people to play with on a daily basis, find teams to join, or get in touch with any of the admins about anything. If you want to cast, that's where you go as well. Always looking for new blood in that way. And we've had a lot of people step out throughout this tournament so far this year. That's where you want to be. Nightbot will be putting the link for that in the chat if he hasn't already. already. But that's going to be it from us, guys. Summer Series, just one more match left. That'll be sometime next week, and we'll see you then.